Fired up footballers, welcome back to another episode of Spitting Fire. Jeffrey and James here with you as always. And today, James, I believe we are putting on our manager hard hats, and we're going to talk about some changes we will make to the starting 11. We both have different starting 11 combinations that we prefer.
Different lineups, yeah.
Let's start with yours.
So I'll start off with what we've seen for the majority of the season, and that is the 5-3-2. For the majority of the season, we have seen Sanchez in goalkeeper. I would stick with that. Vincent at left back. I would stick with that. Now we're going to come to the decision point, the decision part of the show. We have three center back roles.
Center back land.
We have center back land, three center backs in which to fill. We'll start with the left center back, who I will identify Lillard. 6'3" Grant Lillard would be my left center back, and my central center back as the pivot would be Campbell. The reason being 6'2". And actually, last year he played in the central pivot.
I believe it was Kapelhoff and Miera, right? And then he would be in the middle.
Always.
Quite a bit.
And then one thing would be Kapelhoff as a lock for right center back. One thing I've seen, I saw this morning, sometimes I'll see people putting Kapelhoff in the central back. That'll never happen. I'll tell you right now, you could bank on it. You could take that to Vegas. Kapelhoff will always be either a right center back, or if he's not going to be in that right center back role for a two-man or a three-man back line, he will be maybe in the right back. But he'll always be in a right center back. You won't see him at left center back, and you will not see Johan Kapelhoff at 5'11" at center back. I'm sorry.
I agree with
he doesn't have the communication, and it's just not his skill set. He's very technical, and he could move forward, and you don't want that guy being the central pivot there, which is strange.
He's not as broody of a center back as you normally see. He's more of like a technical skill kind of guy, and that's why you'd rather have a Lillard or Campbell there in the center. Bigger guys.
Height.
Really, that's why.
Who could see the field too, maybe a little bit better.
And Cap can play a little bit with his feet, so put him on the outside a little bit more.
Put him on the outside, actually to pressure a winger too. It's a better position to pressure, and he's speedier, so it's a better position for him to take up wingers and attacking mids anyway. Over on right back, usually it will be Matt Polster, but he's still injured for maybe, I think, 1 or 2 more weeks. So at the moment, I would stick Connor out there. We saw Kapelhoff at right back. I wouldn't do that anymore. Connor. I don't know why Drew was taken out, to be honest. Did he do something wrong the game before?
No, I think we said this on our post game. Pretty much, I think they went. We had Zlatan, 6'5" Zlatan, so they put Lillard and Campbell out there, and then Basti in the center back. Pano continuing with that trend, and so I think his process was okay. I want to get my taller center backs out there and keep Basti in, so you're not going to sit Kapelhoff.
And so he can't play Basti out to right.
So he elected to sit Drew and play Kapelhoff there, but I agree with you. I'd much rather have Cap in the center back and have Drew, who's a little bit more offensive-minded, that'll be a little bit more attacking instead of a more supportive wing role.
One of the arguments I did see against it for putting Kapelhoff in the center back was saying that his communication would be better suited there, but I got to tell you this. Kapelhoff is not the best communicator. It's one of the reasons that we're having this lack of leadership at center back is because Kapelhoff is not the loudest player, nor is Vincent. And those are two, at the moment, the longest-standing serving members of the back line, and they don't have the leadership to get this line in order. That's not an indictment on their skills.
No, not at all.
Because some people don't have those traits.
Exactly. Growing up, I played center back a little bit in college. I was the general. Okay, I was the general, yelling, communicating.
And you're short.
And again, I was playing out of position. We didn't have anyone. But enough about me. If I didn't play, and we had another center back go in there, the communication would go out. And what I'm trying to say is, just because they're professional footballers doesn't mean they have the ability to communicate. It seems trivial, it seems simple, but sometimes they're just never asked to do that in their career.
Not in their makeup.
Vincent Kompany, John Terry.
Those are leaders.
Those guys are, the leaders. You saw Jow last year, pointing fingers, yelling. Cap was listening. And so, it's not an indictment. That's all we're trying to say.
Yeah, it's not an indictment. And Jalmero patrolled and was the controller, basically, of Vincent and Kapelhoff. And that's why they had a little bit more success last year. And now we're not having success because Jow is gone. And you have not replaced that leadership with an adequate player. Is Grant Lillard potentially a leader? I did see some flashes on Saturday where he was telling Basti, telling Dax, telling Vincent where to necessarily be, where I wasn't seeing that from any other center back out there.
Yeah, I agree. Lillard, even though he's most inexperienced, and you would think, He wouldn't be. He was the one communicating.
He was the most
He was
vocal
very
of
vocal
the center
back
backs out there.
What else you
Another
got,
potential
Jamesy?
would be Campbell if he could maybe
Okay.
step up in that role. It's
Sure.
either him or Lillard for that back line. So once again, back line, you got Vincent at wing back, Lillard, Campbell at center, Kappelhoff at right, and then over here you got Drew Connor for right now up until Matt Polster returns. We'll move out of the back line and into the midfield for me, and I pretty much just have a central pivot with Dax. Dax McCarty running the lone central pivot there in my essentially 5. He's playing the Matic role. If you guys watch Manchester United, he's playing the Matic role. And then I would put Campos, either Diego Campos or Alexander Katai in that Pogba-type role. And then you put Bastian Schweinsteiger in that Ander Herrera holding midfielder.
Say that again.
Put Bastian Schweinsteiger in that Ander Herrera holding role.
Who are you putting in a Pogba role?
I'm putting either Campos or Katai. Why?
Pogba's the center mid.
Pogba's the center mid. Well,
Yeah.
what do you mean? But he's an attack. They want him to be attacking.
True.
And what did Campos do? They put Campos in that same position last time. And if you,
I think that was Collier. Wasn't Collier playing that more?
Collier is
center mid?
ill-suited to play
I
there.
agree.
He's 6
Yeah.
foot huge. He can be the target man that Gordon is as
Yeah.
well. And he's going to be younger. He's going to be able to
Yeah.
last just as long.
So you're right. Campos
he's got more of that
might have a
youthful
little bit
spurt.
more offensive flair, moves a little bit better. Maybe he can be that center mid.
I think. Well,
What else you got?
For
What else
my
you got?
for my cam, like I said, either Campos or Katai. Whoever could fill that role better. And right now, it kind of looks like it could be Campos, but Katai brings you a lot of offense to that role. Could he fulfill that?
I think Katai's got to start. You haven't gotten into your forwards yet. Can you say your forwards real quick?
My forwards are going to be Nico and Collier. Right, as you can see, I'm sitting Gordon on the bench. That's an excellent super sub. I'm sitting Campos and Baquero. Either one of them. Choose Campos, choose Baquero. Right now, I'm thinking Campos. He's the one who's flashed more for me. And it's either Campos or Katai who I'm going to start out there.
See, the only problem I have with this is, again, we really don't have the personnel to run this. So you have
What do you mean?
Campos or Katai as that.
They can't run attacking midfielder. There's only 3 forwards in my formation.
You have Dax.
You only have Nico,
you have
Collier,
Dax,
and Katai.
Basti. You have Dax, Basti, and that other center mid. You want Katai or
To go forward. Katai or Campos to go forward. He's Pogba. He's not going to be a
I
Matic.
just
He's not going to be an
see
Ander
it.
Herrera.
See, they still have defensive responsibilities in that
Right.
role.
Yes.
and I just don't see that.
That's something that does need. That's why
And,
Campos seems more likely to me.
I'd almost rather have Katai play that striker position. I'd trust Campos
Instead of
there more.
Collier?
Maybe sit Collier instead of Katai. But I like Collier.
Collier's got
So,
more height than Katai.
I don't know.
And Nico doesn't have height. So in order to offset, if you're going to put Katai out there, that's the same as Nico. I mean, they're about the same height. Katai's going to be the better dribbler, but you're not going to get the most you can get out of Nico without maybe having that taller guy there if you're going to run a second striker next to Nico.
Well, when I compare this lineup to the lineup that
Let's
started last
throw it-
game,
yeah.
It's definitely more offensive.
The only difference
it can't
is-
be just as defensive.
Yeah.
So that's what I do like about it. A little bit more offensive.
I only have 3 forwards.
Still playing people out of position.
Only Nico, Collier,
but-
and Campos are
Yeah.
forwards in my position. Otherwise, Basti, Vincent, Dax, Connor, all coming
Yeah.
back. And really, you only let Nico and Collier hang up there. Campos does minimal defensive duties, pressuring in my system.
Yeah.
Right there for that 5-3-2. Let's move over to your 4-2-3-1.
I'll start with mine.
Sanchez in net, I assume.
So yeah, Richard Sanchez in the net. My back four, Brandon Vincent. I'm still don't know with that left center back if I want it to be Grant Lillard. I really like what I saw from Lillard, but one game. And then Campbell. Of course, we still have Campbell.
So you're only playing 2 center backs, so you
yeah,
gotta choose one.
Yeah, I'm going back to the 4-2-3-1. So right now I'm going to lean Lillard. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because he's newer and I'm a little bit more obsessed with the height. We'll see. I'm going Lillard for right now. Kappelhoff is that right center back. As of right now, I want Drew Connor in there until Matt comes back. Of course, Matt Polster. Then I have Dax and Schweinsteiger.
You don't want to put Kappelhoff on the right back and
Nope.
maybe move Campbell?
I want Dax and then Schweinsteiger holding mids. And then, like you, I have Campos. Campos playing as a cam. I don't even know if he truly is a cam. But again, he's an offensive-minded player. He can move. He's mobile.
He was a striker. He's part of the 7 or 8
got
strikers
some
that this team
vision.
has.
So I would have Campos as a cam there, Katai out wide, Nico up top, and then Collier on the right. Again, I like Collier, but when you watch him, he's not getting width. He's that striker playing a winger role.
Yeah.
But I like Collier. So I like that formation. I do. I'll be honest. Do I think it's the best? No. I still don't think that 4-3-2-1 that I suggested.
4-2-3-1, yeah.
4-2-3-1 that I suggested, or your three in the back system is the best suggestion. Now let me ask you this, James.
There's a reason why.
I have an alternative here that I've started to lean more towards. I really like the 4-3-3. I think we might be suited to a 4-3-3. I'm going to talk about this
That
right
might be
now
better.
as if we have Matt Polster. Okay?
Yeah,
So just
okay.
assuming we have Matt Polster back.
Okay.
I would like the back line to stay the same instead of Drew. Sub in Matt Polster there.
Right.
Okay, so you get our width from our wingers, kind of like we did last year.
How are you going to play your three mids?
Our three mids, I'm thinking Dax is holding. I'm thinking Basti as that center mid. And then here is where we can, that right center mid role is where, as Fire fans, we get creative. Drew, right? Drew Connor. Maybe if Matt Polster gets back in there, you throw Drew in there. People have been chattering for Mo Adams. Georgie when he gets back.
But
Georgie Milovic.
I got to say, that's the same problem that Chani's had. That's three central defensive mids you're putting in there.
Well, that's why I'm not having Chani in there. I'm wanting
So
Drew.
is Drew Connor.
Drew has way. James, did you remember that first game Drew played?
Yeah.
That cool Tekker skill he showed where he just spun?
Still, these are three central defensive mids at the core of it.
No, James. Drew is not a true CDM.
True.
Drew is not the same CDM as a Basti, a Chani. Let's put it this way. Chani and Dax are two completely different mids. Drew is more box to boxy. He's definitely more. He's not a true CDM. That's why I have him pegged there or Georgie. I want to switch it up a bit, And then I'm really trying to get away from the cam. We don't have a cam, so then I have the three up top. I have Katai, Nico, and then Collier as that right winger forward.
I got to say the one where we seem to.
So that's my alternative. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
I think we both seem to be having the same problem that Paunovic is having. We are trying to shoehorn position players who play one set position, who have one set of tendencies, and we got to move these players to other players. We got a center defensive mid playing cam. We got a striker playing cam in one formation. We got a striker playing winger. We got a striker playing another winger. We got center defensive mid playing right back. We have.
And even when we get Lucho or a Michael Daly,
they're strikers.
They're still strikers.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, they are not good enough to be right wingers on any other team in this league except for the Chicago Fire because there is a really big hole where we have 0 right wingers and 8 strikers, 7 strikers.
I'm sure people are listening to James. You're like, whoa, Lucho, MDL, they're decent players. Sure,
good heart.
But are they wingers? No. They're going to cut in and clog up the middle. And what have people been complaining about?
And they don't have the greatest dribbling skills.
And there's no
or passing skills. Yes, they have some passing ability.
Yeah. So Georgie will help when he comes back, of course. I think Georgie.
Some of these players, all the players are going to help.
Yeah.
But none of them are going to put this team over the edge.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And another thing that I was reading is Iker Casillas going to put this team over the edge where Sanchez already has this team? No. Is another striker, Fernando Torres, an 8th striker, going to add to making this team better, put this team over the edge to where we could win games? We have holes, complete, barren, empty holes.
No wingers. We have
no right wingers. We have one capable left winger in Katai. One capable.
Who likes to cut inside.
We have some mystery wingers that are Brant Bronico and Daniel Johnson. We have no mystery right wingers. We have no right wingers. We have 3 strikers who you are thinking are right wingers who are not.
I
we
guess
have 7 or 8 central defensive mids, including Mo Adams, Chani, Drew Connor, Matt Polster, Dax Kirkcaldy,
and the box center mids? Where are the
Bastian Schweinsteiger. Georgi Mihailovic is one of those.
James, on a positive note, center back kind of maybe played itself out. I think like we said, you can see some flashes in Lillard and Campbell.
But right now we're sitting in a hole.
But here's the thing:
with 4 points,
we can deal with a serviceable goalie in Richard Sanchez. We can deal with a serviceable center back.
Yes,
because we don't have a starting quality or serviceable wingers.
No, we don't.
Cams.
I'm sorry. These strikers that are right wingers, they are serviceable.
Yeah. So
they are serviceable, but they're not good enough, and they're not going to win you games. And they're not going to think. If you think that we're going to be in the mix for the playoffs, or in a championship, or even in the hunt for the U.S. Cup, you are sorely mistaken with this team. This team is not talented enough at 3 huge positions.
I don't blame Pano. I mean, just with us trying to make these formations,
this is hard to fit in.
Not perfect.
This is hard to do.
And maybe because we don't have those creative attacking build-up players, maybe that's why Pano does rely on the long balls and the crosses. We can't build. We can't play tiki-taka, football, and connect those passes and build from the run of play. The majority of our goals come from getting the ball wide and crosses.
And getting crossing. And that was the same last
and maybe
year.
that's because we have a bunch of strikers out there. And we have a bunch of strikers that can score crosses.
But we didn't even have height last year where we have height this year where it actually makes more sense to get those crosses in the middle. And we're not getting those right now. The offense is lacking something.
Offense is lacking.
Defense, you could see the coach is spending all the time in coaching this team to defend.
Well, that's a
despite
positive.
the fact that he's got 7 or 8 central defensive midfielders.
Defensive flaws were fixed, right? Organization looks better. Defensive fight looks better. But now, are you going to lose every game by 1 goal? You can't defend 90 minutes. We've already saw that the last couple of games.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll end with. Do you have any other final thoughts? I mean,
yeah, that's about it. I mean, that's where we're standing. Let us know where you guys stand in the conversation.
Is
Pano the problem? Is Nelson the problem? Is Hauptmann the problem? What do we need? What needs to be solved? Is Iker Casillas the right call? Is bringing in a striker like Fernando Torres the right call? Is it the wrong call? What are some other ideas? And we'll sum it up here. If you guys enjoyed the conversation, toss us a like. If you have anything to add to the conversation, we'd love to hear it. Add it into the comments below. If you enjoy.